Hi guys, my name is Izzy Ekong, and this is the very first episode of the Designer's Table. And with me today, I have an amazing friend, an amazing designer, someone who I met via TikTok. I dropped a comment on his post, and I told him that I wanted to model for him. And interestingly, pretty quickly, he sent me a DM and said that he was interested. He did send me some outfits. I did some videos for him, and we've maintained a really good relationship since then. I'm very excited to have on the show today with me, Benard Samuel. He is the founder and creative director of a Nigerian fashion brand reimagining African prints through a modern lens of leisure and travel. He merges cultural heritage with contemporary design, creating pieces that are bold, chic, and globally appealing. Beyond fashion, he doubles as a lifestyle, fitness, and travel content creator, sharing his views on life, wellness, and exploration. His work celebrates innovation, comfort, and identity, inspiring a new generation to live with style, purpose, and balance. This is Samuel Benard, the creative director of Benard Samuel. So pick a number from 1 to 10.
Okay, let me say 7.
If your personal style, if your style had a soundtrack, what 3 artists would be on it?
Oh, Summer Walker, Caesar, and let me give the point Beyonce.
I'm curious why.
So for Caesar,
And that's also easy for you to answer. So it feels like you've been thinking about your answer or something.
no. So like I love how their music is just like when you listen to Caesar, it's just like calm your soul. Like I feel like I really connect to her and her type of music. And then when you're talking about Beyonce, I mean the performance is a 10 over 10. I don't think there's any performer like her currently in this like century. So her perfection for me is like my star.
Right.
And then I was saying to my Walker is a mixture of like Caesar and also Bey in a kind of way because she's deep into her feelings too, but it's also like I'm a gangster kind of shit. Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really well. Like, I'm glad that you're my first guest.
I was about to say that.
Makes it a little bit more comfortable for me.
I was about to say it's so nice to be the first guest. Like that's so good. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to do this. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
So your brand is reimagining African prints, merging cultural heritage with like contemporary design. What was it? Why is that for you? Like, what was the first time you fell in love with African print and realized that it could be more than just like fabric?
Okay, yeah. So I think the first time I realized is when I noticed how I was out of touch with my culture. Like I'm from the Igbo part of Nigeria. So
Okay.
although I do travel home once and all of that, but I wasn't like deep into the culture. Like when you say things that you know down to fabrics and traditions. So I think it was 2021. I just decided to like, okay, let me even know what's like more about my culture and stuff. Then I started to realize that we have our own prints, like things that we've done like way back, just like the way Yoruba have Ashoke, we have this fabrics as yeah. So then I decided to start from the Ankara prints, like it was this was yeah. So I think this was even the first thing that made me realize how we can go because I started making clothes because of how will I say just to make myself comfortable. So I was making things for myself, not because of I wasn't designing like full time. I was just like doing things for myself. Then when I did this and I had a couple of people reach out that they want it and all, I was like, okay, we can actually
Do
more of this. Yeah. Cause then we were more into like suits and the normal kaftans.
Well, you did suits with this type of fabric.
No, like we started with suits and kaftans.
Right.
Yeah. So then we wanted to bring out ready to wear. Then we did this first. And then the way it just went crazy. We're like, okay, we can actually make this and make it very Western and it can be something everybody can wear, not just because a lot of people, when you talk about Ankara, the first thing they think of is like local stuff. They won't see it as like something you can wear to. They only see it like should I say, really in the traditional way, like weddings or, but this thing can also be like your day-to-day pieces. So that's what
Right.
made us start doing all of this.
So how long had you been doing like suits and the likes before you
So
started doing
we
this?
were doing suits for, I think, a year before we decided to make this, like, because I did this for myself, like I said, before we decided to go fully into it and say, okay, yeah, let's bring out a ready-to-wear parts for us.
Right.
Yeah.
So even like before doing suits, did you always think that you were going to do something in fashion?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like I've always known, but like before I started the brand self, I always knew, but I did not just know when it will like fully start off.
Right.
Yeah.
So your collections are like very rooted in, of course, like you said, deep cultural history, right?
Yeah.
So how do you translate tradition into something wearable?
So like this piece I'm wearing, this is from the latest collection, the
I like it, by the
Oge,
way.
thank you, the Oge Natural. So basically this is the Aquate fabric that it's like similar to Ashoke, but like very Eastern. They started it, and then the prints that you can see on all these things are like Unsibidi symbols. So like those are like tattoos that the Igbo people had like way back to communicate with yourself and just to like remember yourself like after the whole like war, slavery, and everything. So different types, like it signifies different things, love, peace, all this stuff. Yeah. So basically, we're just putting the two together and making it into like a whole fashion statement.
Right. So when exactly did you start your business?
We started 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
So what was starting like for you in terms of like money, capital? Did you have money saved? Did you
At all? I'll be honest with you. I was one of those people that just woke up one day and just like was starting this. So I've always known that, like I said, I'll go into fashion, but I didn't just know when it would start. So that day I just like, okay, I want to start this. I just kept the launch date. I made some samples. I did a shoot, and then we just launched. That was just it. I didn't like
So you don't think that the timing was right? Like
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I said, we started then. I didn't know should I say, the direction we'll be going to. I just knew that like we wanted to start something. So it's like, okay, why don't we start with these suits and kaftans? It's something that I already have a lot of idea of, because I have a lot of them pieces that I do for myself. So it's like, let's just start with this and see how it will go. And here we are.
Right. And for a brand like yours that's very, I mean, I'll say like trying to reimagine like cultural heritage is very delicate, right?
Yeah.
So how do you I'd say how do you know when to reimagine it versus just keeping it as it is?
Oh yeah. So that's a very good one, because there are some pieces that I see, or some fabrics, and then we're like, okay, just like this equating now, because this is something that I still say it, like fashion is been the same since the like 60s, 70s, 80s. The only difference is it evolves, and then it still goes and comes back. It's like a whole
Like a
circle,
whole
a whole loop that like goes and come back. So basically in the like 80s and stuff, they wore pants like this that they call kembe, but that is like in the Yoruba parts or western parts. So we're just like, and to me, yeah, it's not only just about, yeah, we're from the Igbo side, but at the end of the day, it was still under Nigeria. So we try to like draw like traditions from different places and just like put it. So for this one now, we're like, okay, Akwete is like from our sides, the Nsibidi symbols. Why don't we do it with like what these people already have, like the kembe, make it 3/4 pants out of it and like design it to reimagine into something different. So that's what we did for this. But for some pieces, we just know that like you just need to leave them just the way they are, because that's what it holds. Like that's what it signifies. Things like Ishiagu and all this kind of like wait, where are you from?
I'm a Bible.
Oh, yeah, true. Sorry, for some weird reason in my head, I was just telling you, yeah. No, I was just talking and talking, and I was like,
you need to break it down so I have like I want to understand more. I don't know my food. Yes, some reason I'm Igbo.
Yeah, I think you give up that vibe, which is really cool though.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Ishiago?
So Ishiago, it's like Igbo translation is head of lion. So it's like a fabric.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this fabric that the lion heads are they're like traditional, yeah. So they call them Ishiago. So those things are something you just need to it's not something you can actually reinvent, but it's been there. It signifies it's for like a traditional thing, like weddings and royal families and all these things. So you just need to leave those ones because it's culture, like inbuilt culture.
Right.
Yeah.
So for you, do you think that like you're going to remain true to Eastern heritage in terms of like your designs, or you're going to explore like other parts of the country?
Yeah, we're definitely looking to explore, like, not just even other parts of the country, other countries, like, because currently we are having our team in Ghana, we have our team in Nairobi, Abidjan. So we're trying to do like a whole full pop-up. And from all these places, we're also trying to, like, like I say, tap into their culture and make it. Because at the end of the day, it's still like the goal is to bring African prints.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, we're starting from here because this is where we started from. But like the whole goal at the end of it is to like reimagine most of African prints and make it into something that is not just seen as local pieces.
Right. Well, that's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
I just somehow thought like you're gonna just stay true to like this and then sort of scale from there.
Of course, we'll still for the like my main culture, like the Igbo culture, we'll still stay true to that. They're saying it is a whole lot of things to even still
To
explore yet that we've not even gotten into. So this is just like the starting point. But yeah, we're looking to tap into other like cultures.
So I mean, you deal with obviously like you deal with a lot of artisans. What would you say has been the most eye-opening challenge for you in terms of let me start with production.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of production, what's been the most challenging thing or like the most eye-opening challenging thing for
I
you?
think is the same thing maybe most and everybody will face. Like artisans will give you you have a certain time frame you're supposed to work with, and then they end up not meeting that time frame, and they don't understand how it reflects on you because you're the business owner. I can't go to my client and say my fabric is not ready. Nobody is ready to hear that. I paid for a clothes. I need my clothes. You understand? So we go through that sometimes. Sometimes it may not even be their fault. It's things like weather, like things like the way we do with after washing and dyeing and you spray, then rain falls, there is no time for it to dry. So all these little things come into play to like affect, yeah.
And it's a whole loop because like if they delay, you delay, the customer is upset.
It just takes one part of the ladder
chain
of the chain here to just go, and then it's like everything is shaking.
Right.
But I think we've learned how to now handle things like when it's happening like this to like make effort for it to not happen and like destroy the whole stuff.
Okay, I mean systems are like really important.
Yeah.
That's not how you keep things going.
Exactly.
So you mentioned like having your team in Ghana, Nairobi. I know that recently you were in Nairobi as well.
Yeah.
What does scaling look like for you in the moment? Because you know, like of course, at some point you start a brand, you're doing very few pieces, and at some point you know that there's more demand, we have to scale. What does that look like for you at the moment?
At the moment, it's looking like yeah, we are scaling at the moment, and it's really like it's going at a fast pace, faster than
Faster than you thought.
yeah, faster than we thought exactly. So it's like we need to catch up with how it's going, which is a good thing. I wouldn't deny that is a good thing, but yeah, now it means like more team. The team is expanding. We have to bring in people. Like I said, we're working with people over there just to make everything go right because okay, this. It's just right that this will be the first place I'll be saying this since this is the first show. So for next year, we're looking at having an African pop-up tour. So yeah, so we'll do a tour in Lagos, Ghana, Nairobi, Abidjan, then that's for Africa. Then we switch to the US and the UK to call it a wrap. So we're trying to like put everything.
We're going big.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, it's going like so faster than we like imagine, which is good. And I'm like, we just need to get more team to put everything in place so everything goes right and according to plan. So yeah.
Right. And so I'm also now curious what like marketing has been like for you. Because like you said, you started off basically making it for yourself. And I'm sure like for making it for yourself, your friends want it.
Yeah.
And so have you been able to like, scale that to the extent where it's like there's mass
So
demand?
it's crazy when like even when I get people that come to me that like, oh, they want to like go into the business and start and they'll be like, okay, give me advice on marketing. I'm just always like, I think the best form of marketing is word of mouth and referrals. Because I think that's what worked for me. Once like your product is good, you meet up with time frames, you do everything. And so what most people don't know is that like is this is like an expo for designers. Like most
I
people
hope you guys are hearing it.
most people are buying into the experience.
Okay.
Also, like it's the like whole experience of the whole thing. Like you order an outfit, it comes, it looks good, presented well. The brand is also good. You wear the outfits. When you go out, people compliment you. The whole thing. When the whole process, that whole process I've gone through, I don't even need to tell you to market my product. Like the next person you see and they say, "Oh my God, your pants looks nice." You be like, "Yeah, I got it from this place." So those guys are like, "So you understand?" So that's like the fastest way and was just spread. And I think that's what worked for me. And of course, the little bit of like influencing on the side, like putting people in your pieces and knowing how to place your products. I think that's another important thing. Very hard to place your products. Do you want your product to, because you have to have a niche at the end of the day. Do you want your product to be high-end product? Do you want it to be an everyday product? Do you want it to be something everybody have access to? So you should be able to create that for the brand. And like when you create that for the brand, it will just everything just fall into place. But when you can't pick one place, like I think that's where you'll be having issues.
Right. I'm glad you said that because my next question is around like pricing, right? Like you said, do you want to do high end or not? So
Yeah.
how do you determine like what your pricing would look like and the kind of audience that you want to speak to?
Yeah, so I'll just say for the normal fundamental pricing rate where you get your production costs and everything, what's her name would say, I can't remember her. That's the editor of Vogue that just stepped down. What's her name? Anna, yes. Anna would say like you do it, you put in your cost price and everything, you times it times four, and then when you do that, you decide, okay, how do I want to place this piece? Like how do I want to put it? What is my what or what is the energy I put into this? Then you put the price on top it. Like aside from
Times it by 4.
aside from the four that you've timed it, then you still put what's your own like what's
Well,
supposed to get here into it. So like I think that's the fundamental way of pricing. Though we don't go by that rule completely because as we need to do our own production, so all this we produce our fabrics. So because of that, the costs we have to add the cost of that, add the cost of the artisan, add the cost. So all these things just like sum up to what brings up the price.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting. I didn't know the times.
Yeah,
Like that's actually really interesting. So I'd say like if your brand were a sentence, right? What would you be saying to the entire world? What's the one story that you want people to tell about your brand from like say the next 20 years?
Yeah.
I'm sure that like you're building for longevity. So
Yeah.
what is that story that you want people to tell about your brand in?
I think the story I want is it's a piece for like it's an so what we started designing for like an everyday piece, but at the end of the day it's a stylish, comfortable, yet a statement piece. That's what we go for that's what we design for basically.
Yeah, and I mean I have like probably like one or two, but it's actually really comfortable.
Yeah.
I like the blue one as well. That one is really dope. So if you could put one of your collections or one of your pieces in a museum, which of them would it be?
I actually think it would be this aquatic piece, the whole full set, because we have a whole full set, like the suit, the inner, and then the pant. I think it would be because
it's an actual suit?
Yeah, an actual suit.
Oh,
yeah. So it is a very statement piece, and I think it just represents everything about my culture, which I love, my tradition. I just feel like it's not just a fabric. And like when you're wearing it, it's not just like you're wearing a piece. It's like you're wearing a statement. You're wearing a whole culture with you. So like that's how I feel about these pieces.
And I mean, if it is suit, then that's the actual merging cultural heritage.
Yeah,
contemporary
exactly.
design.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the hardest no that you've ever had to say since running this business?
Hardest no?
Yeah.
Hardest. Maybe I would say it's like with how we put the brand pricing and all those things, because you want everybody to be able to afford your piece, but at the end of the day you have business that you're running, you have staffs you have to pay, you have all these things that you have to like put into. And before I released this, before I even thought about going into it, I knew it was going to like upscale the brand. and like with price and everything. So I think staying back to just continue doing what we were doing was the hardest no I had to say and just be like, let's just move forward and do this regardless of how high the pricing will be. I know that like people would appreciate the things that we're
The thing that you're
doing. Yeah.
doing, right? Okay, so I would sort of wrap up by asking, like, at the designer's table, right? We believe that like everybody brings something to the table. So, what is the one thing that you would like to leave at this table today for, young designers
For your
and other
designers.
designers?
Okay. I think I'll just, it might sound cliche, but it's the main thing. Just stay true to
It's
yourself.
pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, because these days people see everything as like, oh, you're probably too much emotions or like cliche and stuff. But I would just say, just stick. You need to know like your niche and like what you want to do, or I'll say what you're designing for. If you like stay true to that, oh, this is why I'm designing. This is why I'm doing this. I want this set of people to be able to wear my piece. I'm designing this because I notice in the market is lacking. The market is lacking this part for because there are some certain people that yes they are designing for certain bodies, they are designing for the thick women because they know people are not designing for them, so they make it their niche to do that. And if you just stick to what you want to do and why you started doing that in the first place, you don't have a problem throughout running your business because it's your story to tell.
Okay, I like that. But do you think that at some point, like, you can sort of start designing for a certain kind of people or a certain kind of person, and then eventually you realize that like there's more demand from other kind of people. So how do you think you'll be able to like deal with that?
Yeah, you can still obviously still deal with that, like incorporate it into your brand and all. Obviously you don't just design. When I mean like you're designing for specific bodies is because they notice this. Okay, this market is missing and they're doing it. Doesn't mean they will also now abandon this other parts. You
Right.
understand? Yeah. So it's just like how we decided to like reimagine all these pieces because we know that like people need them. So doesn't that mean we'll now leave the other part that we've been already working on
doing.
the style, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
I hope
really
you had
enjoyed
fun.
this. Yeah, I did. I did. Can't wait to be back for season 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.